are live. Yay! It's another Thursday again. And welcome to ADRAMADA, another Dave Rush Ask Me Anything Digital Alchemy. It is where I am right now live, Thursday, it's January. I'm planning way ahead. January 25th. This is the last time we'll get together in the month of January. Very excited because the next time we get together is February 1st, which is of note because it's the beginning of a 28-day or 29-day February, which we only get, of course, every 4 years, and it marks the first anniversary of ADRAMADA. So welcome to the last show of our first year as we commence a new show next year, or next month, a new anniversary, whatever, a new year. Yeah, easy for me to say. Drink some of this. It will help. I was, hopefully for the last time, in the oral surgeon chair again today. I have spent the last year in his chair. We are friends, and I have purchased a new pool and pool house and pump house for him. Yeah, you get the idea. So I'm not on anything. 3 aspirin, that's it. But I look like the Red Waterfall red rum. What was the name of that? The Shining. There we go. Hey, well, let's do some intros here. What am I doing there? I was making notes for all the way to the end of the show. This is ADRAMADA, and I am the aforementioned Dave Rush. Come for the shirts. Stay for the news and the projects. The new tagline. So I love technology. You guys love technology. And we get together once a week to talk about all kinds of tech. This show is devoted to collecting and disseminating information about technology and its use. And in particular, we're interested in its impact on our daily and our long-term lives. Topics are wide-ranging. We celebrate technology from electric cars to electric guitars, music and movies, the synergy of energy, booting to computing, and all that other stuff that I won't read today. We're not afraid to go social either. Religion, sex, politics, whatever other third rail thing, you can come up with. People have started asking me, when they look at the color of this thing, what are your plans for Social Security years? It's coming up so quickly. Why is today noteworthy besides this? We got a couple of reasons. This day in history, I don't know. I was digging through this day in history, and I was going to just ignore it all. But a couple days after I went through that, I said, you know what? There is one thing that's kind of interesting. In 1915, on this date, Alexander Graham Bell called Thomas Watson. It's not what you're thinking. Whether or not that story is true or apocryphal, I don't know. I take it as true. But in this instance, Watson was sent to San Francisco. Alexander Graham Bell stayed in New York, and Bell called Watson from New York to San Francisco, inaugurating the first U.S. transcontinental telephone service. And I think that's pretty darn cool. So, the show begins, and that means eep, op, ork, ah. Yeah, I know. We are the first dry day after 4 days of literally non-stop torrential rains. This is the first dry day I've seen since Saturday. My yard looks like a sea, but we're dry, we're healthy. We didn't lose power and all of that. It was, there was some thunderstorms, but there, but never here. So we maintained power throughout. That was kind of nice. I have to share something with you that will have no impact on your life, mostly. I'm calling it the Houston Postal Black Hole. And hence the graphic, and now I can get rid of that graphic and switch to just me. Stuff being mailed to Houston is being hopelessly, helplessly lost. They built a new facility, and they can't track stuff in there. I've got stuff that's been sitting in one of the two new gigantic facilities for weeks. There are people who've had stuff in there since before Christmas. There are people who've ordered meds, and this has bearing on it, on me, and to a lesser extent you, because of the great super secret project that one or two of you people know about now that I've communicated directly with you, and will be communicating much more so with everyone over time. But I'm waiting for, there's little dribby-drabby parts coming all over the place, but I'm waiting for a part. And it is a fundamental, I cannot continue past the beginning without this part. So, we're going through Congress people, and we're going through complaint processes and whatever. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. Let's see. Great ways to get in touch with Dave. Join the Discord server. Little by little, every day, people join the Discord server, and it's just to talk tech. And a lot of people want to talk Linux over there. I'll talk with anybody about anything. If you want to get in touch with me, contact me on that distro, on that Discord server, or any other Discord server that I hang on. If I'm awake, they're all turned on, and they all ping me. They won't ping right now. I've got them turned silent because some of you get this really great idea. Let's ping Dave in the middle of the show, and my computer lights up. If you don't want to contact, and just join and look it over, see if it's for you. If it's not, unjoin. But I hope you do. We're having a lot of fun on there. My robot on there is a Mi 6 robot. It's very conversational. Some of the people here have held extensive conversations with it. You cannot win, except you can tell it to shut up. If you want to get in contact with me with any other methods, by all means do. Here's my common email addresses. Yeah, he. All right, so next week, ADRAMADA celebrates its 1-year anniversary. Do not miss this show. I will explain why in a second. Meantime, let's go see who's here and what the world is up to. Time does, in fact, march on. That sounds like something I might have just written as the second sentence of the first sentence of a second paragraph of a social I did this week. See you soon. Oh man, I hope so. I got a thing where hopefully I can see you all soon here. Excuse me. My arm is healing. It is, I'm not 19 anymore, but I can do something with my arm now that I couldn't 3 weeks ago. I can scratch my back. I have a gig tomorrow. I've got to unload a whole bunch of equipment and set it up. I loaded it up on the trailer the other day. It was a horrifically painful experience and took days to get back to normal discomfort. But I think I'm going to survive. I don't think I did any soft tissue damage, so the world is a better place. How's yours, Tullywood? You got some serious burns on you. Shia's here. Nice to see you, Shia Moonstone. I do love that name. What's up? Jason Helms is here in the house. Mine is mostly healed. I'm so pleased to hear that. Did you do anything special with it? Aloe vera or creams or balms or whatever? Or did you just wait it out and pack it up with Vaseline? Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't put oil-based products on burns. I used to be an EMT for a very short period of time in Colorado. And that was one of the things that A, we never did, and B, we were taught how to treat. Because it just makes things worse. Gummit. Not government. Gummit. Tacos. Tacos? Why are we doing tacos? Jason Helms, if it's a DDoS attack, I'll ping it at once. Just waited it out. Okay, that's typically what I do. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about anniversary show next week. I will be giving away pie stuff. Stuff that I have accumulated, never got around to used but don't use anymore. So I don't know what you're going to get, but I've got giveaways next week. It's going to be pie stuff. It's going to be US, not just continental US. I can reach out to the outliers because I can use the US Postal Service, and we don't see any problems getting things out. Or, I may use some other shipping thing, but we're going to be giving pie stuff away. I don't know if it's going to be pies or accessories or what, but I won't cheap it out, I promise you. So how to enter. I'm going to put more information on the Discord server on this. You can't enter yet. You will not be able to enter until the show next week. But here's the deal. In order to enter, you must do 4 things. I'm going to make this a little self-serving here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. This channel. Subscribe. You can do that today. You have to give a thumbs up on the February 1st show. So as soon as I post that, you can thumbs up it. I usually post it a day or so, or same day as the show. So last day of this month, first day of February, something like that. You must, here we go, post a message for the show on February 1st. I don't care if it's bad or good or whatever, but you've got to interact with it. I want to see people alive. And if you're not already, and you can do this now, join the Discord server. I've posted the link in the chat feed. I'll post it again later in the show. Those are the 4 things that you have to do. Okay, then there's a 5th. Then you send me an email to the email address that I posted up here, drushtx@adramada.com. There's no N in there. ADRAMADA. Not spelled like Andromeda. It's all A's. The only vowels in Adramada are A's. And just say that you want to be entered in the giveaway for the 1st anniversary show. And then what I will do is I will go and check, did you do those 4 things? Are you subscribed to the YouTube channel? Did you give a thumbs up on the February 1st show? Did you post a message on the February 1st show? Did you join the Discord? If you do that, you are entered. You will have a week or so to do those 4 things. Anytime from the day that the show appears through February 7th, midnight, my time. And at that time, in the morning of February 8th, I will get up and I will confirm everybody that hasn't already been confirmed. I knew that it was a late nighter. And on the 8th, on the show on the 8th, I will announce winners. And I will send you an email if you're a winner, requesting your shipping information and stuff like that. So I'll give this again. I'll post this on the Discord server, all these instructions. Hey, I am human. I can make a mistake. If I make a mistake, there's no appeal. Okay? We go with my mistake. But it's only 5 people and there's only a handful of live people. Well, you don't have to be live here. That's the cool thing. And we've been getting good non-live turnout. So if you're watching this on archive right now, plan ahead. You don't have to be live for the show next week, but sometime between the 1st and the 7th, do those 4 things and send me an email, and you will be entered. If you are outside of the United States, I will not be able to ship you pie stuff, and you cannot be a winner. I'm sorry. It's just not practical. There's all kinds of problems shipping stuff internationally, especially these days. All right, so that is worth another cheat. So what do we got going on here? Last week we did I'll do this just to stay consistent. You go there. Do I want a headshot? Why not? It only takes a second. Bump. All right, so last week we did something. We installed an OS into PyMox. And I played with that for a little bit, and then I thought I'm going to mess around some more. And so I did. And I put, so we did Alpine together. I did Rocky Linux 9 in there. And I just experimented to my heart's content for about 2 days with all kinds of PyMox configurations. And I have come to the conclusion that it may have been ready for prime time. It is not an acceptable real-world solution on the Raspberry Pi. I made it work. It's okay, but They just haven't done any real development for 2 years. So, no soap. This week, we are doing a primer on the Vim text editor. I'll get into all that, the hows and whys, upcoming shows. The only upcoming show that I want to mention right now, all the other ones that I've had on tap, we're still going to do Windows Firewall, and we've still got SE Linux operations and Pixie boot servers and stuff like that. But I'm planning way ahead into April, 77 days from today, Thursday, April 11th. I will be in Austin, Texas for the Texas Linux Festival, which begins on the day after the show, Friday, the 12th, April 12th. But I'm going to take some gear up. I'll make a portable studio. So there's going to be a show on Thursday, April 12th. I have no idea what it's going to be. I'm not going to take Raspberry Pis up and set all that stuff. So there's not going to be anything. If I do anything that's computer oriented for a project, it will be something I can do on this computer that you're watching as we sprechen. If you would like to be in Texas on April 12th or April 13th, come to this conference. It's going to be a good conference, and it is the cheapest freaking early bird tickets for a conference of this caliber that I have ever seen. If you buy your tickets right now, I don't know when the early bird date ends, but right now tickets are $50 for Austin, Texas at the Palmer Convention House, big nice convention house in Austin. It is a great town in which to hold a convention. Austin is a food town. Austin has great tourist things and great local things. The only thing wrong with Austin and all of the great world is their politics are screwed up. Just my humble opinion. Come on in, man. Enjoy it. You know what? I'm going to put out an invite to a couple of our close friends that we know. I think that might be really interesting for them, and the price is right. Scott, are you watching live or in person? We're going to Austin on April 12th and April 13th. That's Friday and Saturday. All right, who else? What else have you guys been yammering about whilst I did all that good stuff? And then we'll do the next part of the show here. You're ever so welcome, Shia. You mean you got to interact with people, live to win, live to win. You're right. I can count on everybody that's here participating. I know that. Just a little bit. I like that. Okay, let's do this then. Head over there, back into slideshow, and we will do tech news of the week, because there's some cool tech news of the week. And some that's sad. Take, for instance, the image that you see before you of Fruit Stripe gum. You know the one. It's got the colorful zebra. Fruit Stripe gum launched in 1969. It came with a 5-pack of flavors, melon and orange and lemon, and I don't know what the other flavors were. Watermelon was one. Oh, wait, here we go. I wrote them all down. Goodness gracious. Wet and wild melon, cherry, lemon, orange, and peach smash. And they came in a little colorful wrapper. You could lick the wrapper and make a tattoo out of it. Well, 3 weeks ago, they killed it. The nice folks who own it, I didn't write their name down. It's a major name. You'll know them if I said it. There is no more Fruit Stripe gum. So 54 years, and the painted zebra is gone. So sorry. And then we did this. I don't have a sad sound effect. I would play it if I did. I misquoted somebody last week, and it was marvelous to get the correction that I got. I realized it that day, but something really fascinating happened. So let me correct something here. So I misattributed a quote saying that it was from Arthur Tide it was in fact the person we have on screen now, Alan Sill, whose credentials I got right. He's a professor and doctor of cloud and NSF over at Texas Tech, and an HPC, a high performance computing guru. Anyways, I there were two things that he said, and I attributed them not to him but to Arthur Tide. So it is Alan Sill who talked to us about. I want to get into this further today, but energy consumption in server farms. Primarily, the big two are training AI and crypto mining. It's not all there is to the world. Well, and then he gave us another marvelous quote that I didn't quote accurately, but I will now. I don't know if this is his quote or if this is something that he's requoting and reconstituting or whatever, but I was watching and listening to him as he said the following. He said, "There is no AI. It's all obscure scripting with unexplored failure outcomes or plagiarism as a service." Alan Still, Texas Tech, NSF, CAC, accolades and titles du jour. What was really amazing about that is Arthur Tide, I didn't pick his name out of a hat, sent me a message on the YouTube show that said, "Hey, I think you misattributed this to me. I think you were thinking of Alan Sill." And I wrote back, "Yes, I was. I'm so sorry. I screwed up. If you're watching this, Arthur, now it's all out in the wash." But what I want you to know about Alan, what I want everybody here to know about Arthur is one of the few people with which I have just the smallest connection. I've spoken with him. He probably won't even remember, but we talked about a year ago about some stuff for Linux, your foundation, not Open Software Foundation, Enterprise Linux Association, OpenELA. But he is one of these few people with whom I have just the tiniest of connections who has his own Wikipedia page, and it's fairly extensive. Arthur Tide, Tyde. All right, what else here? Man, I have been doing a lot with NVMe. There is so much more to NVMe. I've got a show planned on it. We're going to get into this thing. But I mentioned this a week or so ago that I don't have my Raspberry Pi 5s running yet because I want to get it fully configured. I've got the Ice Tower in, and then I ran across this back-ordered NVMe interface from Pineberry. They sell two of them. One is top-mounted, goes on the GPIO pins. The other is bottom-mounted. There's pros and cons to each. But I said, well, I'm going to back-order one of these things. It'll probably be a couple of months to get it in. I got a message just a few days ago that says it's shipped. On paper, they're cheap, but they're coming out of England, and they will only ship FedEx out of there. So it's about $57 after shipping and all of that happy stuff. If you walk into the store over there, it's 27 pounds, which I think is like 18 cents or something. Anyway, it's on the way. FedEx from jolly old. It won't get lost in the Houston postal black hole because it's coming FedEx. And as soon as that happens, I get it all assembled and we start doing fun projects. Next in the news. Oh, so I guess we got pictures up here. This one is the top mount one. You can tell by the GPIO pins across the top. And then this one is the bottom mount one. The Raspberry Pi 5 has an accessible NVMe interface. And that's what this cable is all about. You connect it to the NVMe interface, the PCIe interface, and then you can have any kind of board that makes you happy, including this one for M2 NVMe drives. Wine, which stands for Wine is not an emulator. Version 9 was released this past week after a year of development. Bigger, better, stronger, faster, more powerful. and 7,000 changes. It supports, and this one I'm going to get into in a second, the WoW 64 architecture. It's got Wayland drivers, they're experimental, it's got Vulkan support, and so much more. Here's the only problem. It's released, but the current Raspberry Pi repository only goes up to version 9. So I had to study how to get Wine version 9 4 generations later into here. Let me tell you what this WoW 64 architecture is. This is amazing. Before WoW 64, if you had a 32-bit VM, you could put 32-bit operating systems in there. That makes sense. If you had a 64-bit VM, you could put 64-bit operating systems in there. But you couldn't put 32s. With WoW 64, you can. And that will lend itself tremendously to the projects that I do in real life and for things we're going to share here. There's ARM64 enhancements. There's all kinds of other goodies. It's exciting news. We've used Wine in here some time ago. Probably, I think we did a Wine project back in drama days, not ADRAMADA. Okay, I wore a NASA shirt today, so I looked at that on my pile yesterday and said, I better do some NASA news. So I think I got 3 NASA stories. Another step toward lunar and Martian colonization. We have almost completely successfully created liquid solvents that will help extract construction materials from the lunar and the Martian. It's not soil, it's regolith. We've talked about that before, but surface material. All right, long story behind that, but I'm done because I got lots to do. Ingenuity. This was really interesting news 3 days ago, 4 days, 5 days ago, over a span. And yesterday I wrote this up to share with you, and today there's an update. So Ingenuity is the 4-pound little helicopter that flies around on Mars. NASA lost contact with it 2 days after after a hard landing. Communications broke down on the show day last week, Thursday, when it was sent on what they call a quick pop-up vertical flight. It just went up, I think they said 10 feet. It wasn't 10 meters. So it was just a systems test. And it had what they described as an unplanned early landing. And this was on a previous flight. So they said, okay, well, for some reason it landed early. We're going to just send it up on a little 10-foot launch and do some quick systems test and then get it back down and check the systems, read the logs, and all that stuff. After it landed, they lost contact with it for 3 days, 4 days. They regained contact yesterday, day before, something like that. So, huzzah! It's ready for more missions. Now, let's go back here. Ingenuity was supposed to fly 5 times over the course of 31 days. It has flown 72 times over the course of 1,020 days. That's incredible. And it's almost like everything else that they do successfully put on Mars, it all goes way longer than they ever expected. Now, the reason that they gave for this communication failure was a hard landing. Now, let's go. Do you get how amazing a helicopter on Mars is? The surface temperature on Mars is about minus 73 Fahrenheit, about minus 54 Celsius centigrade C, whatever makes you happy. And all that mechanical stuff works. After sitting for 1,000 or ever running for 1,020 days, it is frozen soaked. The air pressure on Mars is 0.088 psi. Compare that to 15 psi on Earth. We develop helicopter rotors based on the air density here, how fast they go and the shape and the tilt and all that good stuff to lift these helicopters. There's so little atmosphere there to push. That's why in part the helicopter is so small. It's got multiple blades, multiple rotors. It's just incredible to pull that up. That's 6/1000ths the pressure, the air density of that of Earth. It's incredible. You might as well take a propeller-driven airplane and put it on the moon and try and fly it. So here's today's update. NASA announced today that the hard landing was caused by a damaged rotor. So the little heli has flown its last mission. Still 72 missions over 1,000 days. Wow. Next, NASA. That was 2 NASA stories. Let's do another one. Back in 2020, we sent a ship to an asteroid, smashed into it, and collected the debris in a canister and brought it back to Earth last year. They've been opening it and extracting contents from it, but it has been stuck for several months to get the last piece of it open. There's, 35 screws on that thing, and there was 2 or 3 of them that they just couldn't get. Of course, you don't want to damage it. You don't want to get the metal shavings in there or any of that. So after months of work, they got it open. So this, what's the canister's name? The mission, the canister is called OSIRIS-REx. The asteroid they sent it to was Bennu. So they have access now to all of the Bennu dust. And yay, that's kind of fun stuff. One more story that I ran into today that's not NASA, but just one last piece of news. I know I'm going long on tech news. That's the way it is. Last week, I was talking about Alan's discussion about energy consumption in server farms. The 2 biggest activities energy consuming are crypto mining and training of AI. That's not the sole energy consumer, of course, in data farms and server farms, but this was an interesting news article. It's not particularly new. It just came across my desk in the last couple of days, and I was kind of stunned. The state of Virginia in the U.S. has the largest density of server farms and is the largest data center market in the world. And there is lots of growth planning for those and for new ones on the books. And the state is totally behind this. They are incentivizing the growth with tax breaks for organizations that are putting stuff there. You get the idea. Here's the problem. There isn't enough energy to support the expansion. At the current rate of power generation, most data centers will not be able to grow with any significance for at least another 5 years. And this presumes that the power expansion grows at the rate that it has in the past, power generation. But Virginia law, they're the first, we'll call them a southern state, they call themselves a southern state, green energy legislation has been enacted. The Virginia Clean Economy Act mandates that the state's 2 largest utility providers, Dominion Energy and AEP, American Electric Power, produce 100% renewable electricity by 2045 for Dominion and 2050 for AEP. It's just not possible. You cannot, assuming we can achieve 100% renewable electricity by that time, none of that will represent growth in the current baseline output. So this could utterly collapse any potential growth in data and server centers and farms. And when you think about what these aren't just web servers, right? These are real-time financial transactions and medical communications. And then there's really important stuff that happens in here, not just making motion kitties on AI. Speaking of AI, I want you to check this one out. I don't have a slide for it. So let's do this. And I'm going to put a link in yon chat feed for an AI service called Runway. Runway lets you take a still image and then use a brush, an editing brush, and just wipe your brush over an area that you want to have motion. Great demos. They show this boat at night or dusk in still waters, brightly lit up boat, kind of a fishing boat thing, under low cloudy skies. And so they throw the brush over the cloudy skies and they're all moving, not randomly, not haphazardly, like clouds would move. And then they light the boat and the boat turns a little. The AI has learned enough to say, okay, that's a boat. Boats are symmetrical. I know what it would look like if you turn it this way. And then the same thing with the water. They got a free trial. I'm going to talk to them and see if we can get a freebie long-term thing. But freaking cool. Freaking cool. All right. Is that all that? Is that all the news of the day? Oh, no. Okay. Got my one little personal rant. Let me see this. Yeah, I can do this. I have extolled the virtues of Quant, Qwant, with you for a couple of years. No more. As a privacy advocate, I switched from Google years ago to DuckDuckGo. I switched from DuckDuckGo a few years back, not because there was privacy problems, but because I perceived future privacy problems. Turns out I was prescient. They were giving search metadata on searchers to Microsoft because they were using Bing's services. And I switched to Quant. Quant was okay. I would give it, if Google is a 10 for information finding, Quant is a 7. One of the problems with Quant is it doesn't have operators. There's no ands and ors or things like that. So you take what you get, or you drop and you punt and you go to one of the other more capable search engines. But for my purposes, it worked for me 75% of the time. However, 2 mornings ago, yesterday morning, I went to do a search on Quant and I got this message that says, you ain't getting no further unless you turn off your pop-up or ad blocker. I have no objection to being asked to contribute. I do contribute to places that need support like that. But I'm sorry, it just makes me angry that somebody pushes advertising in my face that I'm not asking for or that I don't support. And so I have abandoned Quant. For the moment, I've gone back to DuckDuckGo. I think they still give searcher info to Microsoft. They say they stopped giving it to everybody else. They never said they stopped giving it to Microsoft. So got issues there, but no more Quant. All right, let's visit everybody here, and then we will look into our project. We're going to run long, but it's going to be cool. Oh, it just dawned on me. I've done 2 weeks of VMs. Now I'm doing VIM. Okay. I can do that. And while that is playing its hilarious tune, I was going to go and see what you guys are doing here. I quant you to quant me. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, reading massages. You're ever so we did that. It was delicious. Right, for 10 seconds. That was the standard joke everybody I talked about with around here. It was great for 10 seconds. I don't know who Gary Graham is. You'll tell me. I'll look it up when I'm done. You don't have to tell me. And I'll say, oh, duh. But I don't know Gary Graham. Blue skies on Mars. Isn't Mars further than the moon? Yes, the moon is, give or take 200,000 miles uh, Mars at its. See, you can't win on Mars. Mars can get physically much closer, but if we launch when it's closest, it moves too far, and then we have to play catch up, and that's no good. So when they do a Mars shot, a low fuel Mars shot, what they have to do, there's a window every 2 years where we shoot it, and Mars kind of catches up, and it takes a long time to get there. It takes over a year to get there. That's one of the problems with going to Mars is we're gonna have to put people in spaceships for a year or two if we use a low fuel trajectory, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong in a year or two in a spaceship. Would not rate Google as a 10 for search. I was just using it for relativism. I completely agree. Gigi was Tulowit's neighbor who had more pies than me. Oh, why do I not know that? I'm so sorry. I am terribly sorry for the loss of your neighbor. Sounds like Wile E. Coyote strapped an Acme in. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what we can accomplish on today's show. I'm going to do a little bit of this history, and then I'm going to get into the demo. And I'll see if I can do the demo in about 10 or 12 minutes. So text files are the lifeblood of Linux. Okay, configuration files, documentation, so much more. And in the beginning, there was no visual world, there was no visual interface, and so we ran through generations of text-based text editors. EM, M, Emacs, Ed, N, X, Vi, which is an extension of X, but it had a visual mode. That's where Vi came from, was Visual X. And that became kind of the de facto standard of text editor for years. I am not old enough, happy to say, to have used Vi. It was around when I was born, but I wasn't playing Linux or Unix back then. It got improved over time and became Vim, which is VI improved. And I played with Vim in the early 90s a little bit. I was doing Novell instruction, and we were partnered, and we actually owned, Novell did, SCO Unix, and we used Vim in there for labs and things like that. And then I changed trajectory on my career and moved out of the Linux world. And I stayed I dabbled in it for years, but I stayed out of it pretty much until the first Raspberry Pi came on, and then I dove headlong and got back in. But by then I was such a Windows head that the idea of a text-based text editor left me cold. And so I have been using, ever since Raspberry Pi came out, Nano. Semi-graphical, kind of a lot like Microsoft's text editor. It's got menus in it. There we go. It's menu-oriented. I have been traveling in more involved Linux circles in the last couple of years. And to a person, every developer and professional that I have encountered uses Vim. If you handed them Nano, they could function with it, and they would scoff. They do scoff at it, and they don't like it. And so I thought, well, maybe I'm missing something here. So I did what I do in all of these situations. If I want to try something new, I don't dabble. I quit the old thing cold turkey, and I use the new thing and give it my whole heart to see if it's something that I can learn, something that I can use, something that I can benefit from. So not awful long ago, I switched to Vim for text editing, and I'm very happy about it. And I thought I want to share that with you just for those same reasons. The cool kids are doing it. I'm not one of the cool kids, but the real cool kids live and die in Vim. And so I thought it would be worthwhile for us to be aware. There is a great history of how we got from the beginnings of Ed and N to Vim. And I share that link with you here. The History of Vim, which can be found over on picuma.com. Picuma. It's great because it's included with many, many distros. And if it doesn't have it by default, it's installable in just about every distro. There's always that weird exception. It's lightweight. It's extremely fast. That's hard to explain with the time that I have, so we'll just take it on fast. It's not too challenging to learn, but it's very different if you haven't come up to those ranks than anything that you've ever used. It's a text-based editor, no menu, and the first thing that we need to know about it is it has 3 modes. Normal mode, also called command mode, and that's used to select other modes, to execute commands like opening files and closing files and saving files and searches and things like that. There's insert mode, add, change, remove textual content. And there's visual mode. Since this is a keyboard-only program, there's no mouse, we can use visual mode to navigate, jump to text, mark text, do other kinds of functions like that that are best done with visual representation. All right, so let's just fire it up. I'm basically duplicating a lesson from a site called Free Code Camp, all one word. I had the link for that. Where did I put it? Just go to freecodecamp.com or org, and you will find it. Okay, Picuma. Oh, here it is. Okay. And I got one more link that I'm going to share with you later. It's kind of my backup link when I want to know quick down and dirty facts about something going on in Linux that I don't know. I do want to share one other thing with you, and I'm going to give you a link to this. This is from, here's the Linux handbook. So okay. The Linux handbook link, that is my little shorthand go-to reference when I need quick down and dirty facts about something going on in Linux, how to use this. Give me an example of this. This is a link to Professor Jonathan Weissman's classroom videos, or one video in particular. I posted my social on there. Professor Weissman is an amazing guy, super brilliant, security guy, and so much more, PC and Linux, and he's over up at Syracuse, and or Rochester. He's all over the place. I can't keep track of where he's at these days. But he saw that I was doing a Vim presentation, and he sent me a link to one of his Vim presentations. Do enjoy it. But it starts out really cool with this mantra, which is just probably the most important mantra you will ever learn in Vim. Sing it, dance it, learn it. He uses 4 things in it. I'm going to give you all 5. Escape, WQ. And then you got to follow that up with an enter. Escape, WQ. Escape, WQ. Stand by. We'll get to that, why that's so important, and what we're going to do with it. All right, so here we go. Let me attach to Putty. I just picked a random computer that I got running Linux on in here. I don't even know what version it is. Now I'm looking at it, it's Pi. But any version of Linux is going to be a happy opportunity here. Okay, we'll throw Putty up there. We'll throw my head in there just for silliness. I beg your pardon. Okay, so to see if you've got Vim, open up a command line terminal, either an SSH connection to your world, or on your, you open the terminal program in your desktop, and just type in the word Vim. If anything happens, cool, you got Vim. If you don't, install it. If you're using a Debian release, remember to do an update and an upgrade. Sudo apt update, sudo apt -y upgrade, and then sudo apt install Vim, or whatever package installer makes you happy. You might have RPM going on, you might have something else, but now you got Vim. It's about a 30 meg install. That seems huge until you compare it to just about anything else. And so we're going to just fire up here. by launching Vim and creating a new file, which I'm going to call sample.txt. Text files don't have to have any extension, or they can have any extension. We use text as a convention, or txt as a convention, but any name, any extension. A text file is all about how it's encoded, not how it's named. So, okay, we're in it. And you see down here in the lower left corner, it says in quotes, sample.txt. It's new. I can also just launch Vim, and I'll just come up with nothing here. If you see the name of the file down here in the lower left-hand corner, or if you see blank, you are in command mode or normal mode. Now, if there was already a file called sample.txt in this folder, then it would have brought it up to edit it. So the editor opens up in command mode, also called normal mode. Name of the current file shown lower left. And when you're in command mode, we can execute commands or we can change to other commands. I'm going to use a command to enter another command mode, and I'm just going to type the letter I. Oops. And I'm not going to do it there. I got to do it over here. Okay, you won't see me type anything, but note the lower left-hand corner has now changed. It now says insert. So now I'm in insert mode, which is text editing mode. Add text, change text, delete text, backspace over text, whatever. And so let's do a couple lines here. Hello, I'll make a period off to that one. Let's make it a comma, though it doesn't matter. Welcome. I am stealing the exact text from the Free Code Club example. So if you go and follow along with that, this will make a lot of sense. Welcome to Vim tutorial for beginners. And I discovered something about their example when I was practicing this. You need it for their examples to work correctly. Make sure you do a hard return after that second line, so you got a blank third line. All right, so when you're satisfied with the content, we save the file. If you close without saving, like any other editor, the contents that you put in there would be lost. And I say almost any other editor. I have an editor here on my phone that when you put the type in text, it auto saves every character. So I don't, if I quit out of it without saving, it's okay. It's already saved. The system doesn't do it. All right, so to save it, we got to switch back to command mode. To switch back to command mode from any other mode that you're in, you just touch the escape key. Oh, I moved. There we go. Okay, escape. So now insert is gone from lower left-hand corner, and that tells us if I see the name of the file that I'm working on or blank in lower left, then I'm in command mode. So to save the file, there are two kinds of commands that you can do in command mode. One are just letters, and others are colon commands. So I'm going to type in a colon here. Letters just happen instantaneously. Colon commands allow me to put multiple commands together before I make them all execute. So I'm just going to say colon and then W for write. Okay, we have now saved the file. We've written it. And now to get out, I'm going to use another colon and Q. Okay, cool. Now that file still exists. Let's go back into it. I hit the backspace key there. You can't do that. You got to go into insert if you want to backspace or do any other text. So I touch the letter I because I'm in command mode. And now I can backspace and put a period. And enter. Now let's do that same command as last time. Whoops. Escape to get into command mode. And then colon. And this time I'm going to do WQ together. So that means write and quit. So that'll save any of my changes and exit out of there. So that's why we use colons. One of the reasons that we can string multiple tasks together. When you use colon commands, you have to follow them up with an enter key. When you use just single character commands like I for insert or something like that, they happen automatically. So right now I'm in command mode. If I hit lowercase I just touch the I, bingo, I'm in insert. I didn't have to hit enter. I hit escape, I'm back in command mode. All right, so let's make a change. Let's add a new line here. I'm going to add, let me get into insert mode. And I'm going to add another enter, and I'm going to say this is a new test line. And this time I'm going to close the file, but I'm not going to save the changes. So I hit escape to get back into command mode. And if I try to do a :quit, it'll say you have unsaved changes. I'm not going to do it. So what we have to do is say quit, I mean it, exclamation point. Q, don't write. Some people think that we'll say it, doesn't matter. Now I hit the enter key. Let's see what happens. We're going to cat that file. And there it is. The two new lines that I put in, the new hard return and the line that said this is a new test line, those are gone. All right, let's reopen that file. I'm in command mode. I see the name of the file or a blank in the lower left-hand corner. And I want to do some copy and pasting here. In command line, or in command mode, if there's something that you want to copy, you start by putting your cursor at the beginning of the text that you want to copy. So I've got my H highlighted up there. And now I'm in command mode. I'm going to press lowercase v. If I type any letters, I'm not in insert mode. I'm not typing text. So I type in V, and now I'm in my third mode, visual mode. And I'm going to use arrow keys to highlight the text that I want to copy. Now, once you've got it highlighted, there are two things you can do. There's more than two, but it's two to start with. I can hit Y to copy it, right? There's a Y at the end of copy, or D for delete. So I'm going to copy it. I'm just going to touch the letter Y here. Okay, it's copied. Now, what do I do with that? Text is copied. Vim returns to command mode. Now I'm going to use my arrow keys to move the cursor where I want to paste that copied text. So I'm going to do it at the beginning of the third line. And I can stay in command mode. I don't have to go into visual mode for this. All I got to do is either a lowercase p or an uppercase P. And the difference is, if I use a lowercase p, it puts whatever I copied after my cursor. So it would be cursor hello. And if I use capital P, uppercase P, then it will put the copied text in front of it. So in the example that they used over on Free Code Club, they used a capital P. I'll do a capital P. And so it put the text in front of the cursor. And it always leaves the last character highlighted by your cursor. So let's save this. We'll do it with right quit. I don't have to escape because I'm already in command mode. But here's our mantra. Escape, WQ, enter. Even if I'm already in a command mode, normal mode, I can still hit escape. It doesn't hurt anything. So escape, WQ, right, quit. I mean, you could just write, by the way. Enter. Let's cat it again. Hey, there it is. Let's go back in. How are we doing on time here? 58. I just got a couple more minutes. I'm going to run about 5 minutes over. I'm going to show you find and replace and one or two other quickies, and we will be done here. Find and replace is really cool because if you've ever done this with Microsoft Word, you got to open up the find and replace thing, the menu, the widget. Then you got to go find, copy, paste, and put it into the finder area. And then you got to type in or find something you want to replace and copy it in. It's a lot of steps. And then you can either globally make them all change or have it prompt you. We can do all of that same stuff on one line. The syntax is a little mysterious. So let me give you a slide. And we're happening. Okay, so the syntax to do a find and replace is a colon command, and this is the range of lines that you want it to search through when you do the find. This is the pattern of what you want to find. The words, the text, the sentence, whatever it might be. Excuse me. And then the string, the text that you want to replace what was found with, and then there's some control flags. Let me show you those. Let me explain all this with one more slide, and this will be the last slide of the show. So range indicates that you can pass a range of lines. Pattern, the pattern of text to find. String, the text to replace the found text. And then flags, these aren't all the flags. I only mentioned 2 here. I'm going to show you 3 before we're done. The C flag says, hey, I found one, and it'll show it to you. Confirm that you want to make the change. The I flag is the find text is case insensitive. By default, if you don't use I, it's case sensitive. Whatever you type in the pattern is case sensitive. All right, that should be, yeah, that's the last slide. So let's go back up to head here. So let me show you one of these things here. I'm going to do a find and replace, and I'm going to change everything that says hello to, I don't know, what's the example here? Hi. So let me see, I need to be in command mode. I'm in command mode. So I can just start typing %S. That means all lines, not a range of lines. Slash the text I want to look for. I'm doing it case sensitive. Hello. Replace it with hi, and do it globally. That's one of the flags. So I hit the enter key on here, and look what happened. It only works from the current line that my cursor was at and down. So I've got to do it again from higher up. So I'm going to do %S. Oh, I want to show you something else here first. Let me put my cursor down here. If you want to jump to the beginning of a document, there's 2 ways to do it. 2 lowercase g's when you're in command mode, GG. It also works if you use 2 square bracket opens, bump. To jump to the bottom, it's uppercase G's, Shift GG, actually just Shift G, or right square brackets, a pair of them, bump. And it takes you to the beginning of the last line. All right, so GG, let me take it to the beginning of the line. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to do that same command that I did a moment ago, %S, whack hello, whack hi, whack G. I typoed something wrong here. Insert, escape, %S, hello, hi, G. There we go. So it changed all my hellos to highs. And it looked down lower through every line in here. And by the way, if you had a 50 megabyte file, this would take about a half a second. That's what I mean by fast. This is so fast when it comes to navigating, finding, replacing. It's just unbelievable. Now let's change this again and add a little bit more interest to it. So I'm going to leave my cursor on line 1. I'm going to change the highs for everything from line 2 through line 3. That's my range. And I'm going to change hi to hello and welcome. And I'm going to use 3 flags. Global, excuse me, case insensitive, if that's I, and C for confirm. When it finds something, confirm it. Okay, line 2 and 3. Doesn't matter where your cursor when you is when you do this, because we specified just look in lines 2 and 3. So it says the first one that I found that meets that criteria is here on line 3, and because I used C, it says, hey, do you really want to do this? And it gives me 6 different possible responses, 7. Lowercase y is yes. And so it changed the hi in line 2 and or 3 to hello and welcome. And I want to put back up here. Okay, I can do this. Yeah. I'm going to put up the free code link again. No, I'm not. I'm going to put up the shortcut, the Linux handbook link, because this will give you a full explanations of what all the confirmation possibilities mean. And there's some pretty cool stuff in there. All right, almost done. Just 2 more quick things to show you. Did the enter to execute? Okay, I want to do undo and redo. And this is real simple, real straightforward. In command mode, if you just type lowercase u, it will undo the last operation. It's like Control Z. But unlike Control Z, if I want to undo the last 4 things that I did, I got to do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. In here, I could say, if there was such a thing, for you. And that will replace or undo the last 4 things, the 4 tasks that I've done. So let's get rid of, first of all, the word and. I'm going to go into insert mode here with my lowercase I in command mode. There we go. And we're going to go over here. And let's do this using visual. Right? Is that the way they do it? See, listen, delete a word. So we're going to delete a word. We're going to get rid of the word and. Put your cursor on A in and. Oh, okay. And then just say, got to escape to get in command mode. There we go. I'm in command mode. DW. Delete word. Whatever word that I had touching is now gone. So the and is gone. Got to fix a note. There we go. Okay, so I've deleted 1 word. Now to undo that, all I got to do is press U. It doesn't matter where my cursor is. So I'm going to move my cursor someplace wacky. Right over here. And now I'm just going to touch the letter U. I'm in command mode. Poof. And is returned. Now how about I want to undo my undo? It's a redo, right? I can do that. I'll do Control R. And this is a capital R. Control Shift R. And it undoes the last thing I undid. And I can bring it all back with an undo. I can undo what I just undid. That's Vim, folks. God, tell me I did all that with my head up there, not putty. Yes. Sorry, guys. You get the idea. It's easy enough. You can follow it along by text here, or yeah, just by listening. So we'll do that. So like anything new, Vim is different. It's got a bit of a learning curve. It's a very small bit. I learned all this in about an hour or so, and then I've just been using it every day. I added some text files every single day just to get in practice and do more things, and it's no big deal. It's a text editor. It doesn't need fonts. It doesn't need kerning. It doesn't need images. So it doesn't have all those features that you're used to in your favorite word processor. But we're not word processing. So it can be lightweight. It can be nimble. It doesn't use much memory. It doesn't use much drive space. It doesn't use much CPU horsepower. And yet it's all blindingly fast. Okay, let me see what you guys are talking about. Then I'm going to talk about one more thing to close things out. And Camp Club Tomato. You're right, exactly. WordStar. I was a WordStar user. I remember that. So I saw your GG here, Patricia. And I was thinking, oh, you were getting ahead of me with, what did you say you used? I wrote it down because I went and actually used it to do some checking on it. I've got notes about it here, but I don't recall. Sorry. You'll tell me. What's the default text editor in Mint, Patricia? In the meantime, I'm reading here. Arthur Tide is here. Arthur, I hope you heard my mea culpa and my connection and my accolades for you. Thank you for popping in. You are a man who should not be goofing around here with my little one-man show doing simple projects. But thank you for coming. I'm honored that you're here. Wow. Okay. Guys, Arthur is here himself. Would love to see find and replace. Hey, good. You want to see find and replace? Let's do find and replace. Because that's just not right. I'm sorry. We're going to do find and replace. Give me 1 second here, Putty. Share it. Here we go. Let's go do that thing. We can stay for a couple extra seconds, right? All right, what about find and replace? So let's take it up from where we did. We're going to start by, can we get back to normal here? It'd be quickest and easiest if I do that. We'll go into insert mode here. Hello. Hello. Okay, save that. I don't need to save that. But if I wanted to, I would hit escape, right. Okay, escape, right. Escape, W. Let's make sure, am I sending? Yeah, okay, that's on screen. All right, so our syntax to find is in the command line. I'm going to use a colon. Oops. Got to be on this screen. Got to use my colon. And my range is going to be the whole document. And I want to find all of the hellos. And I want to replace them with hi. And I want to do that globally on the entire document. Bam. All my hellos have been found and replaced with highs. Now I'm going to find all of my highs from lines 2 through lines 3. Not going to be a lot of them there, is there? And we're going to change them to hello and welcome. So we're in command mode here. And this time we're going to say lines 2 through 3, or 2 and 3. Change hi. And see, it found it right away. It says, I've started searching through 2 and 3, and the first instance that I've found that meets your criteria as you've typed it in so far, I've highlighted. And change that, please, to hello and welcome. Now, if I'd said hi in lowercase, it wouldn't have found that, right? Unless I say, make it case insensitive. So do this global, do it with confirmation, and then I could add the I, and he'd say, oh, okay, I'm good with capital H-I, capital H, capital I, lowercase both, mixed case, whatever. You get the idea. So here we go. He says, hey, I found something on line 3. Do you want me to make this change? Do you want me to replace it? Lowercase y? Yes, I do. All right. So that's find and replace in Vim. Arthur, you can do this in your sleep, and you've been doing it since before 1980. I'm embarrassed, but I'm glad. Happy that you gave me a feed. That's what I do over on the CIQ's show sometimes. I'll just pass in a feed question. I have ulterior motives. All right, well, we've done all that stuff. Let me close things down here just a tad. I want to do a reminder here, something really important to my soul. The tentative schedule this week, we did Vim and Vigor, Vim with Vigor. Next week, this is what I want to talk about. This is the game. We celebrate our 1-year anniversary. Do not miss this show. I'm giving away pie stuff. Again, here's a reminder of the rules. I'll put them up on the Discord server. Dave, you have a Discord server? Why, I do. And if you joined late, then you didn't want to see the Discord link, I'll put it up there again right now. And let's go really nuts and crazy. Okay, put this here. And if you don't get it, I got it here. You can send me a personal email. And I will answer you personally. All right. Back to the announcement. Pie stuff. All right, so I'll be giving away pie stuff. The basic tenets are you got to do 4 things in order to enroll to win one of these pie products. And I think I got 5 packages, my tentative plan. You got to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You've got to do a thumbs up on next week's show, the February 1st show. You have to post a message on next week's show. Something nice and complimentary. I really like your hat, Dave. But if you post something, man, Dave, I wish you'd get to the point. Somebody sent that message one. Quit. Dave loves to hear himself talk. This burned into my soul so I can repeat it. Just get to the project. The guy's not wrong. I do love to hear myself talk. Anyway, so post some kind of message on the February 1st show and join the Discord server. Once you've done those 4 things, send me an email. It says, I did it. I want to be in your contest, in the raffle, whatever we're calling this thing. And I will confirm that you did those 4 things. You will have from February 1st through February 7th to do those 4 things and send me an email that you've done so. And then I will confirm that all on the morning of the 8th. And I will announce winners on the show next Thursday on the 8th. I don't know if we're doing anything special on as a project for the show. That show's all about that one. It is US only. I can't ship this stuff internationally. I apologize. It's how it goes. And if I make a mistake, I'm human. I might. I'm the final arbiter of the winner. My mistake may very well turn out to be the rule. So sorry about that. All right. Well, let's close this puppy down. Thanks for hanging out a little late with me. We ran 17 minutes late, but I wanted to get through it all. And I had so much tech news. I really wanted to share that with you. NASA was really big in the news this week. So if I were going to end this show, I would do the following things. First of all, I would wish you a great rest of the week. I'd ask you to take care of each other and to take serious steps to stay healthy. If at all possible, call or visit your parents. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. Hey, somebody posted that as their Discord tagline on my Discord server. I love that. So with that, good night. I'll see you on ADRAMADA next Thursday on the other platforms that I'm on. Until then, remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. Eep, op, ork, ah.